Hello, welcome to the Nintendo Bros podcast. This is Peter,
And this is Derek.
and welcome. We're here to talk about video games and specifically Nintendo. And today is an exciting day. Tell us why, Derek.
We have two directs to talk about, but today in particular we got to see Sakurai talk about a new Smash Bros. Character.
Yeah, it was 9 a.m. this morning, Eastern Standard. Did you watch it live?
I did. I was actually working at school, but I watched it.
Model teacher over here. You're gonna get yourself doxxed. I'm gonna wow, can't believe you made that public. Okay.
Well, I was in my office. It was like my prep period. So
Well, I'm even more ashamed to say that I didn't watch it live because I was asleep. But I did just watch it. Tell us, how do you feel about this direct?
I mean, it's kind of exactly what you expect from the other one Sakurai's done. But this character excites me. I think they'll probably be one of my main characters in Smash Bros. I'm a big Smash Bros. Person. Both you and I are big Smash Bros. Players, so we kind of every time a new character is announced, we decide, is it someone that we're going to play or enjoy. But this character looks right up my alley, so I'm pretty excited. I don't necessarily love the franchise they're from, but pretty excited. Yeah.
Have you ever played Xenoblade? Any of them?
I played Xenoblade, the first one on the 3DS.
The new 3DS exclusive.
Yeah. The only, I think it's like the only new 3DS game ever.
There's a few.
Are there?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I played that game about halfway through. I played Xenoblade Chronicles for about 5 hours. So
Okay.
yeah, I mean, I'm not too well versed in the franchise, but I always like more Smash Bros. Characters. So
Well, I found one thing interesting that Sakurai was doing it from his home because he said the lockdown. I mean, I think he implied lockdown measures had gotten worse, which I thought was kind of
I
interesting.
didn't.
They were in the studio last time, and this time he was at home, and he said it was because of COVID.
Maybe it's their second wave or something.
Well, I don't know. I just hope that bodes well for their team and development over there. So yeah, basically, I kind of get it. Pyra's the stronger, slower one, and Mythra is the faster, more nimble one.
Yeah.
Which is, in a way, pretty generic. To me, they don't look look terribly different from afar.
No, even the costumes that if you go to the alternate costumes, some of them are going to be like confusing to know which one you're playing as.
Yeah, I mean, I guess because he mentioned you could read on the bottom to see who it is. Yeah, I mean, these are probably the least exciting DLC characters to me since Joker. It's been pretty good so far, except I just don't really care for Xenoblade. I don't really like their look. They're like the big breasted look. It's kind of strange to me, but I really like the stage. I think it's super cool. It's kind of like it works as a Final Destination type of more serious more serious stage, but it does have a little bit of tweaking happening with the neck of the dragon, I think, turning, which is kind of neat. Do you think this will be a competitive stage? It could be.
I don't think it'll be a competitive stage simply because there's something like the neck that just kind of that won't be a competitive stage for that reason alone. Unless, I mean, if you turn that off, then and it doesn't move because of that, then sure. And I agree with the whole one, I don't really care for Xenoblade, and two, I don't really care for like the anime style, but as far as the character itself and the moveset, like I get where you're coming from, where you're saying, it's pretty much as generic or as you can make a character, one half strong, one half fast. But I think the moveset looks really cool to me. I think it's cool that you can swap on the fly. We haven't had one of those characters since Smash Bros.
Pokemon Trainer, which we still have.
True, Pokemon Trainer, yeah. Yeah, you're
right. Which counts? Yeah, stand down.
Yeah, it does count. I totally agree.
I thought it was cool when he compared Ice Climber to Pyra Mythra and just like how detailed the character really is. I'm always impressed that they can do that with eight of them on screen. With Pokeballs, with assist characters, all running at 60 frames at 1080. I'm really, I don't even know. Like, this engine is magic that Smash Bros. Runs on. I'm always shocked by it. It seems to be getting better with every character that releases, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so he also talked about... You know what I always thought was funny, by the way? Remember when they blurred the boss?
Oh, yeah, and the other costume for Rex or whatever?
Yeah,
the spirit.
I kind of laughed, and I'm like, okay, well, for one, they're ruining the name. And for two, at least the final boss. And two, it's just like, is anybody who doesn't like like, would anyone be watching this 40-minute video at 9 in the morning who would care about that spoiler? Like,
It's either people who care. I mean, it's people who don't care, or people who have played the game.
yeah, I mean, I imagine the amount of people watching that video who would have been mad if those weren't blurred out is got to be less than a fraction of a percent. So
I would say it's probably less than the people that were upset that it was blurred out.
yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
more people are probably pissed that it was blurred out than the few who weren't.
exactly.
Yeah. It's kind of it's funny. So the other thing he brought up was that he only has 2 more chances to do these videos. Or sorry, as in there's 2 more fighting characters.
Yeah,
coming to
two
Smash.
left in this past. Yeah.
So I thought it was. I mean, I put a lot of thought into that today because now that there's 2 and you put that little bit of emphasis on it. Do you think that was an implication that there's going to be a 3rd fighter pass, or
I think
there wasn't?
I was gonna say, in my mind, it's him really trying to like simmer expectations, saying, "No, this is it. Don't get your hopes up for a 3rd one." Like,
you don't think it was a
like,
it
he's
wasn't
like trying
a signal. It wasn't a signal.
He's starting the ball rolling already and saying, "No, like please, please understand. You know, this is as many as we're gonna do."
Yeah, so I mean, but that adds extra pressure on who are these last 2 spots. Like, you know what I mean? It can't be something for a small fan base, and it can't be something for, you know, some weird spin-off. Like, it has to be pretty serious, right? So I mean, I'm gonna ask you what the last 2 you predict are, because I wrote my 2 predictions down.
Oh, you didn't really prep me. I think
I did not prep you. I'm catching you on the spot.
I have a feeling that one of them will be.
Sorry. Before you say anything,
Okay.
2 that you think will happen, and then 2 that you hope happen.
Okay, even like if they're blind, like definitely won't want to happen.
Yes.
Okay. Who I think will happen, my first one I'm going to say is a Capcom character. So I'm going to go out and say, I'll say Leon Kennedy or Chris Redfield. Because it's one of the big Capcom characters, and we noticed...
literally what I wrote down as my prediction. But I think it'll be Leon and Jill.
Okay.
And you'll see Chris
as 2 or a 1?
Kind of like either a swap or like mostly it'll be a costume swap. So they'll have exact same movesets, but you'll be able to play as Leon, Jill, maybe even Chris and Wesker. But if not, those 2 will show up during the Smash special Smash or whatever.
Yeah, I think it'll be one. It won't be like a Pyra Mythra thing. I think it'll be one character, but I could see you having alternate costumes, like kind of like Minecraft Steve almost.
Yeah, but then again, I also predicted that same thing with ARMS. I thought you're going to get all like 8 characters that had swaps, and that was wrong. So I can also see them just going with one character.
I think it would be Chris in that situation then.
Really, I would predict Leon.
I think Chris is so popular right now he's in Resident Evil 8. He was partially in Resident Evil 7. He's in Resident Evil 1. Like Chris is the Resident Evil 5. He's the face of Resident Evil. I'll be honest, like he is.
Well, I mean, the top 2 selling Resident Evils are 7, 5, and 6, I think.
And he's in all of them.
And yeah, he's in all of them, and then 4.
I mean, he's not the main character in 7, but he is in it.
I mean, I guess Leon's just in my heart.
Yeah, Leon. The one thing is that Leon has going for him is Resident Evil 4.
The jacket from Resident Evil 4 is what he has going for him.
Oh, I was gonna say, well, it came out on the GameCube was the first system to release Resident Evil 4.
Yeah,
which is Leon's star game. But I was just gonna mention that the Mii costumes that we saw today in the Direct were all Capcom characters. So, besides for the Ghosts and Goblins character, but it just kind of is. I don't know. Maybe that's Capcom too. I don't know enough about Ghosts and Goblins, but it's just kind of interesting that they showed all these Capcom characters, and they haven't really shown a Capcom fighter in a while. So I think that's why we're going to see a Capcom fighter.
Yeah, I mean, is Mega Man is the only Capcom fighter? Am I right?
Yeah.
No,
right, Castlevania.
No, that's Konami. It's
right.
We're completely forgetting Street Fighter. So Ken and Ryu from Street Fighter 2.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, well, all Street Fighters. Yeah, I you know what? That's funny. I predicted the exact same thing, and I also think Resident Evil is just a big enough brand now that it would be hype. Like it would be pretty hype for everybody. It's big in Japan. It's big worldwide. There's movies. They're probably going to put it right into Disney World. No. But it's huge.
Yeah,
and
it's a big franchise.
And we all it was leaked that they're making that Resident Evil exclusive for Switch and etc. So and also I think it'd make for a really cool stage with zombies. And it really is a huge franchise that seems to be missing from Smash Brothers.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's one of those kind of iconic ones that's still left.
And as
So,
a third party, it's had a lot of there's been a lot of representation on all sorts of Nintendo systems, including
Totally.
3DS, N64, GameCube, of course.
And they have a good relationship with Capcom. They've had that for a while. So
Yeah. Okay, so I guess we
why don't
both
you? So
break
since
up.
we both had the same first one, why don't you do your second one first?
Okay, so my second one, we all know this is going to be the absolute final reveal for Smash Brothers. So, in my opinion, it has to be one, a first-party Nintendo character, and also two, one that's so surprising yet so unsurprising yet so hype, and also, lastly, it has to come with a stage that's super hype for a wide variety of Nintendo fans. Like they're going to take this seriously. This is the
So
final.
you're thinking
one.
you're thinking Tingle, right? Tingle. It's got to be Tingle.
It's going to be none other than Toad. Toad, the fighter,
Oh my gosh, such a bad idea.
and he will have a variety of moves. It'll either be Toad or maybe Captain Toad, but like involving other Toads in his moveset.
I would say Toadette is the most likely.
Well, I think it could be Toad / Toadette. Maybe it's a double character. I think
just
it'll have
think-
some unique take on the Toad character.
Okay.
It might even. I think it might even be Captain Toad or Toadsworth from Paper Mario, the Thousand Year Door. But no, it won't be that one. It might be Captain Toad or Toad, but it'll have a Mushroom Kingdom will be the final level. It'll have the same reaction that people had to Piranha Plant, but it is a Mario character. He's a staple. Yeah, just he's pretty vanilla, you know, and he has inoffensive. It'd almost be kind of a troll move in a hilarious way. It would be, he'd have an ultimate. He'd be an awesome fighter. He'd be super fast. Like it'd be hilarious how fast he'd be, and he'd become a huge meme in his video. Like it would be huge. And of course, he'd have Mushroom Kingdom as his stage, and it'd be like a huge celebration with all these different Mario characters. It'll be like treated like a Mario celebration. Okay.
Yeah.
Who do you think the final character will be?
So I almost 100% disagree with you. I could not think your idea is more wrong. Because I think if they're going to do the last one, and remember, these are being sold. So a lot of people, especially when they know the last character, they're going to decide whether they want to buy the whole fighter pass or not. So I think it's actually.
You think they're really riding out on that all those people who are like, I'm going to wait who the last character.
No,
is
but
decide.
I think there are they probably know from the first fighter pass that people wait to find out all of them before they buy the pass. I'm sure there are people that are waiting. So I think it's going to be another like super hyped third party character. So
Really, you don't think they're going to have a first party character?
I don't. Yeah.
What is a super hype third party
I-
character in your opinion?
I would say Sora from Kingdom Hearts, but I think there's issues with Disney giving that out, so I don't want to say for sure Sora, but that's who I think is probably the most likely.
Now, think about how many RPG characters we've had in this DLC so far. So many. We've had, Fire Emblem,
Yeah, but
Joker, what's his name from Dragon Quest? Fighter. Hero, sorry, Hero. Now
Yeah,
Mythra Pyra.
I know that, but I just think about, yeah, it's tough because
So many
you're right.
JRPGs.
It's tough because Square Enix just got a new character too, so I don't necessarily say it's Sora, but
Yeah, and then Sephiroth. So it's like, and even if you go back further, you can look at Cloud. Like JRPGs are hugely represented in this series. It's just overkill.
Okay, my turn.
Sorry.
So that's okay. I just I don't necessarily mean it's Sora. I just mean I don't think it's gonna be a first party Toad character. It's gonna be a character that ends on a high note. So I could see it being Dante because I know that Sakurai specifically wanted Dante versus Bayonetta. I could see just a bigger third party character, like one that's been a lot of.
I just can't think of what that example is because I mean they wouldn't choose Dante if they're gonna choose the Resident Evil rep too, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I don't necessarily know who. Like, it could really be Master Chief. Like, I wouldn't be totally caught off guard if that was the Master Chief announcement.
But the thing is, Master Chief. Yeah, that would be very disappointing for people in Japan because I don't think they care about.
I know.
Halo.
So I'm just again, I don't have an actual idea because you kind of threw this at me 10 minutes ago.
I'm catching you up.
But I think it will. I don't think it'll be the generic first party character. I think the next two will both be third party kind of big characters.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Who are you two dream characters for the last two?
My first dream character, number one, would be Gino from Super Mario
Yeah.
RPG.
One of mine
SNES.
is one of mine as well. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way I could not have Gino. I've been wanting Gino since Smash Bros. Melee, probably.
Yeah. I've wanted Gino since Mario RPG came out, before Smash Bros. Existed. I said I want this guy in a fighting game one day.
If there's some kind of Smash Nintendo game, this guy should be in it.
Yeah.
In my other character, if I was thinking, are we talking about? Okay, you go first. Let me think about this. This is tough.
Well, it's been Master Chief since the beginning, just because of the absolute insanity of Halo being represented in a Nintendo mascot game. But recently I've been replaying the Master Chief collection, and to be honest, I don't like it as much as I remember liking it. Single player is just not that great. So I've kind of changed my answer to Leon from Resident Evil. I just came up with that right now.
The one you want is the one that you
Gino is
expect.
No, I think if I really had a dream character other than Gino, it would be Kratos from God of War. I just think that'd be insane as well, and just awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and just a really cool moveset that would it would fit. Have her a really cool stage, like on top of a god, and it would just fit. And it would also just be this weird alliance with, Sony, Nintendo, Microsoft, like the history of games, and I think it would also just kind of cement one of Sony's franchises in that Smash history books, which is cool.
Yeah, Kratos would be a good choice. I also think that, I was thinking about a PlayStation character too. I think Astrobot would be cool, but I couldn't think of a good moveset. But I think Astrobot's kind of a...
Rob is better as a robot.
Yeah, and I think Ratchet and Clank would be a kind of a cool addition too.
That would be really cool. I like that a lot, actually.
Because you got all the wrench moves, you got all the weapons, you got the robot that can fly and jetpack and whatever. So I think there's a lot of move potential there.
Yeah. If the next reveal is Ratchet and Clank, I would be like, yes, that's awesome.
And it's not that crazy, right? Ratchet and Clank is coming out in a couple of months, so.
Yeah, I mean, I highly doubt it, just knowing Nintendo.
Oh yeah, of course, it's not happening.
But that'd be. I think it'd be super cool if the next two reps are like an Xbox and a PlayStation rep. But I don't predict a PlayStation rep.
We made all these predictions, but knowing it's going to be like a Fire Emblem character and like a Raichu, the Pikachu evolution.
No, like some character from like Shin Megami Tensei.
Yeah.
Like that, like super fans will just be so happy about, but like 99% of like Western gamers will be like, oh.
Who is that? Yeah.
It's like, it'll look like Joker, and it'll have a name we've never heard of.
Like I wouldn't there's a lot of characters that I wouldn't mind being in the game. Like even if there was Waluigi brought in, there's a lot of characters I wouldn't be upset about.
Dixie Kong. Yeah.
Yeah, like there's a lot of deserving characters is a better way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be 2 third-party characters, so.
Who do you think's the most deserving to be in Smash Bros?
Ooh, that's tough. Are we talking about first party?
I mean, because overall, but also first party. Most deserving franchise or character. I mean, for third party, I would think Resident Evil for sure, and that's why I think it might be one of the last two.
Yeah, I mean, depends how. If you think about rating, like I don't know, Mortal Kombat character would be pretty big, a Doom character would be pretty big.
Resident Evil.
Waluigi's pretty deserving, to be honest. Waluigi's been around since the N64.
Yeah, but I mean, he's never had his own game.
I just mean, yeah, but but Daisy's a character in the game now.
Yeah, as a reskin.
You know who another character would be good to bring in is Birdo. Birdo would be cool to bring in.
Yeah, Birdo would have a cool moveset, shooting eggs out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool. I actually, like, you know what, I before I chose Toad, I was thinking it would be a Mario character. Like, I almost thought Waluigi or Goomba. I was kind of throwing around a bunch of different ideas because, everyone loves Mario. Mario's quintessential Nintendo, and it'd be an easy bet for them as the final character to be a Mario character, I think.
Mm-hmm. Another character that I think would be deserving is Paper Mario.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah.
I agree. Crash Bandicoot would be cool. I think that's a fairly deserving character that a lot of people have predicted.
Oh, that'd be a good one. Or even Rayman, I think some people have said.
Yeah. Not both. Not both.
Yeah.
One or the other.
No, yeah, I agree. But Ubisoft is pretty close with Nintendo these days, so.
Yeah. Rayman would be a good choice. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of like, oh, what's his moveset? Punches and kicks. But he would look cool, like his head not connected to his body and all that, and be a really cool stage and bring in a lot of good music. There's a lot of history there.
I mean, you're the one that said Toad. Like, realistically, what would his moveset be?
Oh, one of them would be like him pulling out like a basket and like throwing a radish would be one of them, and like
So just so I know, literally what Peach's move is.
his thing would be he's super fast. Like he's the fastest character in the game.
Why would he be? Why out of all characters would he be the fastest?
Because he's
why would he beat Sonic? Why would he beat Sonic and Fox and Captain Falcon? That makes no sense.
Because he's so fast in Super Mario 3D World. Like you have no idea. It's like he's zooming across the stage.
Oh my god! I'm sorry, it's the worst idea out of any character.
Oh yeah, Toad. It would be. People would be.
It would be cool.
Know.
Like it's kind of like
hilarious.
But I just don't think that, like if they were doing a Fighter Pass 3, I think that'd be like the first character they announced for Fighter Pass 3.
You know what it was? I think that'll just the last character will shock people, and so I thought, what could he choose that would shock everyone, that everyone knows, that would piss a lot of people off, that would come out of totally left field. So it's not going to be some predictable Sora or Crash Bandicoot.
It's a business. They're not trying to piss people off. It's a business. If anything, I think the coolest thing would be like, hey, this is our last character, and all of a sudden they show 4 different characters. They're like, actually, it's 4 characters all releasing today.
Yeah, I had that dream before, but I don't think that's happening.
No, of course not. But.
That would be cool. If they're like, oh, we're also going to give you Toad in Mushroom Kingdom. It's like we also made
no, not like that. They're like, oh, we also made these characters: Toad, Birdo, Waluigi, and Chain Chomp. Enjoy them all. You know, like that would be cool.
Yeah, I mean, they would just sell that as a next Fighter Pass. They'd be like, I always thought that would be cool.
Know,
like,
yeah.
it's like, hey, for Christmas, like right around the holidays, they have a direct in September, and they're like, oh, what, this Christmas is coming. This Fighter Pass, all of these 5 Mario characters. It's like the Mushroom Kingdom Royal Rumble is happening. You know what I mean? Like,
I think it would be a cool idea. Would be if they said we're making a Fighter Pass 3, but we're doing fan submissions. So you got to submit the character and you got to submit the moveset, and we vote on them. And then if it's third party, they say like, well, we can't guarantee it, but you know what I mean. I think that would draw some really cool concept.
You think, really? I don't know. Asking the fans, that seems like a fan.
Have you seen some of the fan ideas that people have for characters?
I'm sure they're amazing, but like, yeah.
Someone did one for the Among Us character recently, and like it's a good moveset. It's cool.
That would be cool. And Among Us, it's something like that.
Someone made a video, like they actually like made a whole video of him fighting characters with moves in a final smash and everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, before we move on, what would be the most disappointing possible last characters? Do you think?
Probably Toad. No, I would honestly say probably another Fire Emblem character.
Yeah.
Or I would say another Pokemon character, but I think there's honestly a real chance we do get another Pokemon character, so I don't want to say that in case we do.
Well, that's a good segue into the Pokemon Direct. Would you call it a Direct? It was just called a Pokemon...
I mean, I would say it was a Direct. We got some new games and stuff, footage of games that are coming out soon, so...
Okay, it wasn't announced as a direct. It was called something else. It was called Pokemon Showcase or something like that. Yeah. What do you think? Walk us through your expectations and your disappointments.
I went in with my very low expectations, like I always do with Pokemon. I mean, I'm a fan of Pokemon, but I also know that, in my opinion, the games just don't meet the mark that I'm looking for. Okay. So I went in with low expectations. I was excited to see more about Pokemon Snap, and I was pleasantly surprised by that. And I was hopeful for Pokemon. There was rumors about the Diamond and Pearl remake, so I was hopeful that would be fun because I loved those games when they first came out, and I was obviously very disappointed by that because it did not turn out the way I thought it was going to be. But the last game, I think it's Pokemon Legends or Legend Arceus or something.
Mm-hmm.
We can talk about that more in detail. That one looks... I'm up in the air about that one. I think it has potential, but I think, again, knowing Pokemon, I don't think it's going to meet that potential. So
I mean, it looked early.
It looks like it's going to be like a 2024 game. They don't realize how much work it's going to be.
Yeah. Well, okay, let's take it back a little bit. So you weren't excited because remember, our readers don't know your history with Pokemon. Sorry, our listeners, not readers. So have you played every single Pokemon up until this point, or when did you fall off?
I played Pokemon Red, Blue, Yellow, Crystal, Gold. I skipped Emerald and Sapphire. I played Diamond, Pearl, Black and White, X and Y. I played Sun and then dropped that halfway through.
What about Black and White 2?
Didn't play Black and White 2.
You played X and Y?
Sorry, I played that generation. I think I had X. I played X and Pokemon Sun, and then I didn't even touch Shield and Sword because it did not look good. And I honestly was so let down by how bad Pokemon Sun was that I refused to buy another game until I see more about it. So
what was so bad about Pokemon Sun? Because Jordan said the same thing. He said Pokemon Sun was terrible.
For those that don't know, Jordan's one of our brothers.
Yeah.
But it was so bad because it's like playing an auto cutscene game. It's like you play for 30 seconds and then you have an 8-minute cutscene explaining something, and then you walk down a trail and there's nowhere else to walk. You have to go down the trail, and after you walk for 30 seconds, another 6-minute cutscene plays. And then you have one battle that's a joke, and then all of a sudden it's another 6-minute cutscene. You go into a building, it's another 3-minute cutscene. I'm like, oh my god!
It never loosens up. Like
it never even like. And it's so linear. Where other games, like at least there's sort of multiple routes you can take for at least a little bit. This game, it's like a rail shooter. Like you cannot leave the area. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and you know what I find? Every Pokemon I've ever played, the starter Pokemon is always so strong. You can really just steamroll through the game.
Yeah. And then when I heard more about what they changed about Sun and Moon, Sword and Shield, my expectations were going to be lower. Like they added things like
I didn't hear that there was a ton of cutscenes though overwhelming the game.
I also knew that it was a pretty linear game. It was a pretty short game, and I knew that they made so all your Pokemon gained XP at the same time, which doesn't really interest me.
You can turn that off, can't you?
No, you cannot.
You used to be able to have that in the older Pokemon, but you could turn it off.
It used to be an item, but now they made it so it's just permanently on for all your Pokemon.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that defeats the whole purpose of Pokemon. So wait, if they all level up, all of them at the same time, or just the ones that you're carrying?
Just the 6 that you're carrying.
Oh, okay.
But, I mean,
that doesn't bother me so much because they are kind of there in the fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the whole point is that you like have different level Pokemon. And you have to choose like, do I use my weaker fire Pokemon or my stronger water?
Well, you should be able to turn it off at the same time. When I played Pokemon X, I had it on. I turned it on.
No, see, you should have a choice, but I would always leave that off.
Yeah, that's really lame how they left that on.
Yeah, the game. Yeah. So, anyways, I have no like I used to love Pokemon. That's my background, and now I will not buy a single one until I hear about the details around it.
So, are you gonna buy Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl because you played the previous?
I'm heavily leaning towards no. Honestly, they just don't look that good. Like I know people are saying, "Oh, it's the chibi style or whatever," and in the fight graphics look really good. But honestly, like it looks worse than Sword and Shield, and it looks worse than even like X and Y. Like to me, it just doesn't look very good. So it's just a pass for me. Like I don't. If I think about what I want to play on my Switch and what I have time to play for, that's not the game I want to play at all.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, I'm not really big on Pokemon, but I've always grabbed one kind of per Nintendo system just to kind of play a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I really wasn't like you. Sword and Shield did not look good to me, and neither did Let's Go. Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu with the no fighting and mostly catching. So I don't know. For me, this is the biggest draw towards an actual Pokemon game I've had yet, because I like the idea of just having my Switch on the go and being able to just pop into Pokemon and play a little bit of fights and like play in a simpler style, right? Where it's easier to jump in and jump out and play a little bit, power one up, and I kind of like that it might be super simple, you know?
You haven't played it, so I think it's fun, and also if you treat it like an indie game, and if the price was right, like if they sold it for $40 or $50,
yeah, I mean, full price.
I'd be like, oh yeah, it's like if it's $80, $90, whatever it is, it's just not worth it. But if you treat it like an indie game, it's kind of like a time consumer when you're on a bus or whatever, I could see it being fun. But again, that's not really my gaming these days, so.
Yeah, you just reminded me that it's full price, which that's a bit much, and it's still gonna sell.
Is it full price? Is it confirmed full price?
I will look that up for us.
I don't think they didn't have an official release date, so I don't know if they have an official price announced.
Yeah, they might not actually. I'm not sure. Maybe one of our listeners can let us know. But it probably will be full price.
Like all the other remakes were full price, so.
I agree. Like the chibi style didn't look amazing, but it didn't bother me as much as it seemed to bother other people. Yeah, just think of it like an indie game. But I thought that Pokemon Snap looked really good, and Pokemon Legends Arceus looked really good. I mean, relatively speaking, for what Game Freak usually does, it seems ambitious and big. I mean,
No, I agree. Do you want to talk about one at a time, or?
yeah, let's talk about one at a time. So first, Pokemon Snap. I think that's a definite buy for me now. April 30th.
I'm day one, already pre-ordered.
You pre-ordered it?
Oh yeah, I'm super excited.
The box art didn't look great, so I figured you might go digital. I'm just kidding.
I never go digital.
Yeah, it's funny how I'm pure digital and you're pure physical.
I'm digital for indie games, but not otherwise. I like having a collection.
The graphics look really great.
I think the graphics look like the best Pokemon game ever made. Truly.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I was just gonna say.
And people are gonna. I guarantee we're gonna get comments of people saying, "Oh, well, it's a rail shooter. Of course, it's gonna have the best graphics."
Or they might say Pokken. Pokken had pretty good graphics for Pokemon.
Yeah, and stuff. Exactly, and I get that, but I'm just saying, that if you think about all the amazing graphics games out there and how big Pokemon is, like, why don't they just get to that level? I don't know.
Because they're a small developer.
I know, but they're the biggest franchise in the world.
Well, yeah, you'd think they'd grow into some massive 1,000-person factory of game making and products. Like, you got to think probably Angry Birds has more people working on it than at all of Game Freak.
Yeah, and I think you and I debated this earlier, where we said, why would they have to make them better if they're still selling tens of millions every time? And that's a good point. I also kind of made the point, though, if they made a really high quality game with really good HD graphics, it would be the best selling game of all time. But
the best selling game of all time, more than GTA 5.
Oh, I hands down.
I think the work that went into GTA 5 is probably more and more man hours than everything Pokemon Company's ever made.
Oh, I agree. But I'm saying if Pokemon made a game that was even close to the level of I'm trying to think of even Breath of the Wild, I think that would be the best-selling game of all time.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny that Pokemon Sword and Shield has sold almost a lot more than Breath of the Wild. Not more, a lot more, but more.
I know, that's what I'm saying. They don't. That's what I'm saying. There's no drive for Pokemon because people are gonna buy every game every single time. There's no drive for them to really push the envelope,
Well, I think of the Pokemon Company or Game Freak as kind of a quaint company, right? They're not this massive workhorse Ubisoft factory. They're it's a smaller development house. It just kind of is what it is. And I feel like for them, they've been kind of pulled into these new generations where they probably would have just liked to stick to the old pixel graphics and just keep it simple the whole time.
Mm-hmm. And another thing that people, the Pokemon Company is huge, but their video games are not their only source of revenue, right? They make billions of dollars off
toys,
movies, books, anime,
yeah.
So
yeah, Pokemon Company is huge. I just meant Game Freak.
No, yeah, I just mean their games they sell really well, but they don't. It's not necessarily their only focus at the Pokemon Company. So.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, sometimes it's surprising even seeing that. I mean, are they even developing new Pokemon Snap themselves, or are they probably heavily outsourcing it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I know Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl is being outsourced. It's not being developed by Game Freak.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so they're focused. They did make Sword and Shield. They did do Let's Go. It sounds like they're doing Snap, but I think their main focus has been on Arceus. And that's kind of one of the reasons I'm more excited. So, before we segue into that, just while we're talking about Pokemon Snap and everything, the online functions looked neat. I wanted to make a note of, and that's something that the original obviously didn't have.
You mean the picture sharing and stuff?
Yeah, where your picture can get voted higher and lower depending on if people like it, and I mean, just it's kind of like its own little social media network.
It's cool.
Safe for families and friends. And
I'm curious about the longevity of that.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm definitely going to buy it, but it feels like something that I might just kind of play really quickly over a few days, see every Pokemon, get an A+ on every single picture, and then never play again. But I'm okay with that.
Oh, yeah, me too. I think I'm going to 100% it and then be done with it.
Yeah, and it looks like another note that it has gyro controls, which makes me really excited, because that's a big deal for me.
Yeah.
But
I'm just curious about how big the game is really. The game could be a 5-hour game and the game could be a 30-hour game in my mind. So it's interesting.
The original was about 4 or 5 hours. I remember beating it in a rental. We never owned it. We just rented it.
No, but I mean we didn't. there are like things that we missed, you know, like. But
I
yeah,
remember getting most things. I'm pretty sure I was looking online or in Nintendo Power, and I nearly 100%ing it because there was a lot of hidden. Yeah, like I remember looking up.
There's like hidden like Pokemon that if you throw an apple at a certain spot,
Yeah, like a Bulbasaur will pop out or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember a couple of those. It was like the thing I really liked about that game was it just felt really exciting, that sense of discovery.
That's what I'm curious about this game is like, you know, are we going to get 15 levels and each of them are 15 minutes and there's so much to them? Or are they going to be, you know, 6 levels and each of them are 8 minutes and it's kind of like rushed together?
Or it's just one level that shows all the spots from the trailer.
Well,
It's just like
it's definitely more than one level, but
well, the original was only what was it like 2 paths or 3 paths? Like it was a very
it's like it was like 8 or 12 levels.
in the original.
Yeah.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, that's why I don't think you played the whole game.
I remember being a lot less.
Well, your memory's wrong.
There's 7 levels.
Yeah, 7.
Okay, not quite free. Okay, well, anyways, I'm excited. I'm gonna buy it. Maybe I didn't beat it originally. Maybe it'll come with a 64 one built in. Do you think that would be cool?
No, definitely not.
No, that's not.
If anything, they'll sell that on the eShop for $49.99.
$49.99. Okay, well, side topic. Do you think N64 is going to come to Switch ever? Is that a thing? I mean, by this point, we had it in Wii U and Wii. Where is it, you know?
I'm not sure. I think they probably are still discussing whether they wanted to make it part of the eShop or part of the Nintendo Online service.
Interesting. Or release the games individually.
That's what I mean, on the eShop or do the Nintendo Online.
Yeah. Well, I think if they use emulation, they'll go with Nintendo 64 Online. But I think if they choose to,
I could see them honestly waiting because they know the value of games like if you look at Mario 64 coming out in the Mario All Stars.
Yeah.
Or you look at Ocarina and Majora's Mask probably coming out this year is my prediction. I could just see them kind of milking all the N64 games as much as they could before they start putting them on the Nintendo.
I know, yeah, like re-releasing
service.
them, trying to find a way to get full price out of all of them. You know what I mean?
Like
Or
they think of how many games they could do that for. They could do that for Star Fox. We're releasing 3 Star Foxes in one. F-Zero. We're releasing 3 F-Zeros in one.
You know what
like,
they could do? They could take like the same way they ported over remastered Mario 64. They could bring over like literally 4 different games from N64 and call it N64 Collections and have like Star Fox 64, Yoshi's Story, F-Zero, and maybe like Paper Mario and sell it for full price. And they would sell 10 million copies and they do it 4 times.
And they could do it 20 times. So like they could do that so many times. Think about how many good N64 games could come out, right? Like Donkey Kong 64, like F-Zero. They go on and on, you know? I think that's a great way to make money.
Well, are we talking about corporate greed or are we talking about what's better for us? I don't know.
I think it'd be cool to have all those games on an SD card and I don't know, have a Nintendo Collection 1, 2, 3, 4. That'd be cool.
I wish they just went back to virtual console style and sold them for a certain price, or they went with the Netflix style model, which they kind of are doing with. It's weird. They have it going with SNES and NES Online, but is that a Netflix style model? I don't know. They just kind of come with Nintendo Online, Switch Online, and they also like don't really have many updates left because there's just not a ton of first-party games on those systems. It's weird.
Yeah, so maybe that's when they start putting in the N64 games on.
Yeah, I mean, they are running dry, because, I mean, a lot of the third parties are finding other ways to release those games. So it's not like it was on the Wii, where the Virtual Console had so many Sega Genesis games.
Because it was the way to release them, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting how times have changed.
Mm-hmm.
But back to Pokemon. I just want to talk about Arceus because I thought it looked really cool. It's almost, in a weird way, it's the Pokemon game I've always dreamed of. Kind of taking elements of better JRPGs and the open world structure and bringing it to Pokemon I think would be really awesome. And I know it looked a little rough, but they still have some time. My prediction, I know it comes out, they're saying it comes out early next year. I think it'll be delayed a couple months. I think it might even come out next summer. Like you said, they're going to find out how much work they have in front of them. But who knows how far along it is. It looks like they're just taking the concept of the wild area from Sword and Shield and running with that. So I can see it being really good. I can see it being really good. I can also see it being almost like a janky MMO style RPG that is terrible. So
I could see it being really good, and I have about a 2% chance of believing that it will be good. I
2%
think,
chance. You think it's
yeah,
that you have that little faith?
I think it's going to be slapped together and try to push it out to, because they know it's going to sell 15 million no matter what, and it's going to be, you know, running 21 frames per second, going up and down, and pop up grass all over the place, and it's gonna be 65 Pokemon. It's gonna be a small area. Like I know that's awful.
65. It'll all be small Pokemon.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be. I really think it's gonna be something that's they didn't realize how much it was gonna take, and they're slapping it together at the eventually just to get it out to sell 10 million copies and to learn from their mistake on that one.
Okay, well, that's a good segue into the next topic, which is maybe it's going to come out for a Switch Pro. And maybe that's what we saw, was it running on a regular Switch, but with a Switch Pro down the line, they know they're going to have more horsepower to make it at least run at 60 frames better,
Why would
30.
Why would if you're trying to sell your game, you don't show it on the weakest hardware?
Well, who knows if they even have a running prototype for the higher end console yet.
I mean,
right?
if you're following the rumor says there's prototypes going out. So
going out, which could mean a lot of things. Anyways, that's a good segue. So today, actually, there was Bloomberg reported that there's a new Switch coming this year. Has a bigger Samsung 720p 7-inch OLED screen, which is nice. The current screen is 6.2 inches, so that's quite a bit bigger. It will also have 4K UHD graphics when you pair it with the TV, which was interesting. That's basically all the news we have. Also, what was it that you said? It's all development kits are already going out, and it should be sometime this summer. Did I say? Did I see? Did you see a rumored release date?
I don't remember the date on that. No.
Mass production as early as June, it says. So that could mean it's coming maybe August?
Or, yeah, just the holiday season.
Yeah, which, what do you think about this? Do you think this is true?
I don't think it's true, to be honest.
Why not?
Because I'm sure there is a Switch Pro being made, but the sales of the Switch are still disgusting. It just doesn't make business sense to release another console when your current console is still, selling out and maxing out sales. You usually wait for the dip to release something else, but there hasn't been a dip for Switch sales.
Is that really the best strategy, just to wait for a dip? I mean, is that what we saw with the Wii?
There's just no point to release more product unless if your sales are going fine, you don't do that. You delay it and delay it and delay it until you can release another. Again, I don't know. I'm not a economy major or anything like that, but that's what I think. I just don't think they're going to show that hand as early as this year. So we'll see.
I mean, if you had asked me before this rumor, I would have said no. But this rumor seems pretty legit because it is Bloomberg, and the rumor's been in the wind for a long time now. And I think there might be a reason that we haven't seen games like Bayonetta and Breath of the Wild 2. Could be that they're going to somewhat be paired with this announcement or unveiling of this better Switch.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible. I could see it. I could see it, but and I would obviously be happy about it. But I just think the sales are too strong still.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, it's true. I wonder. And I also wonder, would it replace the current Switch?
How would you use the same dock? I'm curious about a lot of
would the
things.
Joy-Cons work?
Would you be day one for it?
Yes, of course. I've wanted a Switch Pro for a while, and a lot of games that run at unlocked frame rates, like Link's Awakening and Hyrule Warriors, even Breath of the Wild, 3 Zelda games, they'll run at very smooth frame rates. A lot of third-party games that use this kind of auto-scaling resolution, like Doom and other shooters, will be able to, automatically will run at their highest spec. So even games that are already out are going to retroactively get improved, almost like how it works on Xbox. Well, not how it works on Xbox, but just kind of intrinsically with better hardware, they'll run better. So I would want that. Also, the rumor says 4K graphics when paired with a TV, so that's a big deal. A lot of people are complaining that not having a 4K ready Switch on the market hurts it. And, let's say they did have a new Switch come out and then their sales got even better somehow. Um, they could really stop Xbox Series X and PS5 from ever having a lead selling console. I mean, they could, one of the things I read was that it was the reason they're releasing this year is to kind of stop the momentum from those two other consoles, and also be allowed to get the ports. It's one thing to release it 3 years into those systems' life, but if you get in early, they'll start getting in on the the engine and the middleware and the ports that those systems are going to be able to make. At least be as powerful as an Xbox Series X or close to it. So it's possible that they have one that they didn't anticipate the sales being this large on year 4, and they always were behind the scenes for the last 2 years. Let's say we're developing this 4K ready, more powerful hardware. Not sure if this new Xbox and PS5 are just going to wipe Switch out, and now they're ready to release. We really don't know. So I mean, it's not always like they're just choosing right now what to do. We got to remember that. It's kind of like saying, okay, like we're working all these games. They're all going to be ready over the next 9 to 20 months. Things could go wrong, and we got to try to plan a schedule. I mean, can't be easy. But anyways, yeah, I would think they would have more internal memory, more than 32 gigs. Hopefully they'll update the Joy-Cons and the Bluetooth so that it doesn't disconnect. And also maybe an updated OS to allow for voice chat and easier to join friends, and kind of like a little drop-down OS system. Maybe have Netflix on the system.
Yeah, I think all those are cool ideas. Again, you're a much more. I'm a big fan of Nintendo, but you're a much bigger fan for Nintendo. So I have reservations about we always get in this cycle of what if Nintendo adds this and this and this, and they don't add any of it. So
yeah, like the bare minimum.
Yeah, so we'll see. I think it's possible this comes out, and I think it could be 4K and no LED or whatever, but I don't know about all the other wish list stuff.
As a note, there's no way I think it'll run true 4K, just because even the PlayStation 5 Pro didn't really run true 4K, and the Xbox One X had trouble. So we're only really getting to that now with the next generation system. So it'll be what's called, it's a NVIDIA DLSS, their super sampling, where they'll kind of take 1080 and a checkerboard 4K, take parts of the screen and sharpen them and upsample them, kind of the way PS5 4 Pro does it. So it won't truly be 4K, but we'll get a better 4K than the 1080p upsampled to 4K we get now. So I think I think that at the very minimum, that's what we'll get is a 4K graphic bump, bigger size, and maybe a bigger memory. But I can't see them doing anything. I can't see them just releasing a Switch Pro and it being a little bit bigger in size, and that's it. It has to have something about it. But I guess the bare minimum would be, no updates on older games. They all still have performance problems, and no actual updates other than an internal memory and bigger size would suck. And a 4K up res through the dock.
Yeah, but that's kind of what the PS4 Pro was.
Well, the PS4 Pro actually had a faster GPU and CPU though, and ran games better.
It had more internal spec.
Yeah, it ran VR better. It actually was almost like a PS5 for PS 4.5. Mm-hmm. I think that's what people want is a Switch 4.5 that can run games a little bit better.
Did you say a Switch 4.5?
Sorry, a Switch 1.5 is what I meant.
Yeah, okay.
But I mean, we know the Switch Pro is coming eventually, right?
Yeah, I think it's an inevitability. I just don't know if it'll be this year.
Yeah, I wonder. I mean, with COVID especially, right? Could be
with COVID
year.
too. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. What would get you to buy a Switch Pro if they announced it this year? If you sound pretty pessimistic.
Oh, I think I probably will get one anyway, just because I have a 4K TV, so I might as well use it. But and it'd be nice to have two Switches because I'm kind of back and forth between two places right now. But I think the price really. I'm not going to spend $5.99 on a Switch, and I think I would really watch the Joy-Cons too. So if it ended up being crappy Joy-Cons again, I'd be like, well, this isn't really worth the $4.99 price tag or whatever it would be. So.
Do your Joy-Cons, did they crap out?
They're not crap. And I always play the Joy-Cons never leave the system. They're only for handheld mode.
Me too.
But I can't play them without handheld mode. They have drift and they don't connect properly, and
But to me, I don't have drift. I just have no serious connection problems. Like I can't sit on my couch
Oh,
and
I
play.
have drift more than anything.
But wouldn't drift affect it even when it's attached to the system?
Yeah, but I just don't notice it. I just like I might as well. I mean, like I notice it, but it's really the only way to play in handheld mode. So I just kind of put up with it.
True. Yeah. I mean, I would hope for like improved Joy Cons as well. I mean, for one, it'd be cool if they upgraded the to have analog triggers for racing games. As well as putting the IR sensor on the front of the right Joy-Con somehow so that it could act as a Wii remote sensor, which to me was one of the weirdest design decisions of the whole Switch, was putting that IR sensor on the bottom of the Joy-Con. Like it would have been easy to just put it on the top and sell a $2 sensor or have people use their old Wii sensor and then have all these Wii games or be able to play Mario Galaxy the original way, right? Light gun games, like the whole this. I'm digressing hard here, but I miss the Wii IR sensor. It was like that was like gameplay revolution that didn't deserve to go so quickly.
Didn't deserve to go.
Didn't deserve to die.
Yeah.
Okay, well let's move on to our what have you been playing section.
Okay, do you want to go first or me?
You go first.
Okay, so I've been playing a lot of. On my Switch, I've been playing Overcooked 2 still, and I started playing. I started playing Little Nightmares, the first one.
On Switch?
Yeah, on the Switch.
Nice.
And I like it a lot. I think I have some issues with it, and I'm excited to see what. I'll eventually get Little Nightmares 2 and see what they've kind of ironed out. But I think thematically it's really kind of a cool game, and I think it does have that creepy horror vibe.
What kind of game is it? Because I bought it too. You told me I bought it on the sale. I just haven't played it yet.
I find it very similar to Inside or Limbo.
Okay, I love those games.
Yeah, it's kind of the same where it's like there's little puzzles in each room, but there's kind of a creepy overarching story. But it's like you just kind of run to the right and like kind of keep solving each room. It is good. It just you can tell it's a bit of an older game, or the indie team. It's an indie game just because of some of the. It feels a little stiff at times, or it feels like the camera isn't in the best spot it could be, or it feels a little frustrating when you die. You have to restart further back than you wanted to. So there are little frustrations like that. But I think, again, that's why I'm excited because there's so much good there that I think ironing those out for Little Nightmares 2, hopefully, I'll be really impressed with that.
Nice.
So
sounds good.
I don't know if you want to talk about other games, but
yeah, talk about other games.
The other games that I've been playing is Hitman Trilogy on the PS5, and they're great games. Having a lot of fun, first time going through them. And then I just started playing, I'm sure you heard this game that just came out this past month, sold really, really well. It's Valheim. It's this Viking survival game. It sold 5 million copies in the past month. And
I have heard about it, but I don't know a lot about it.
So a team of 5 people have made this game, and it's now sold over 5 million copies within a month. It's basically an online... You can play it in single player or multiplayer online, but it's a survival Viking game. So you start as a Viking, you have to collect wood, collect rocks, build a hut, build a forge, and then there's an actual. I've only started, but there's actually like bosses and kind of a quest to get to Valhalla is kind of the goal. So there is kind of a real story to it. So far I've just been collecting wood and hunting deer, but one of the cool things that's really cool. But is when you chop a tree, it will actually fall down. It's not one of those kind of games where you chop a tree and you get the resource. It will fall down.
Like in Breath of the Wild?
Yeah, and it will. But they're so tall they'll knock down other trees. So you can knock down one tree and it'll knock down like 4 or 5, and then you can chop them all up to get the wood.
Oh, cool. Is this on PS5 or is PC?
It's right now just on PC in early access, so it's not even technically out yet. But it's really fun. It's just kind of a fun game to play with your friends because it's just a really good game.
Wow, that sounds really cool.
Yeah, it's only $20 and it's like, again, it's selling like crazy. So,
is there any way to play like where your 5 friends like you fight other people's tribes, or is it?
No. So you can. There's I think a max server is 10 people right now. So you and your 8 friends or 10 friends can play. There is a PvP, so you can turn it on where you guys are hostile to each other and you can kind of run off away from each other.
Cool.
But it's more focused on a co-op game where there's however many of you and you're building a shelter together, hunting together, sharing resources, exploring together.
That does sound cool.
It's really cool.
When you play on your PC, what controller do you use?
I'm just using mouse and keyboard.
Okay.
I'd like to get a controller because my hand cramps. I don't really like playing on a keyboard, but.
And you got so Hitman 1, 2, and 3. Tell me about that. Like so I understand that you get a deal on buying all three if you buy one of them, right?
So I mean, Hitman 1 and 2 have been out for a while, so you can buy them on the PlayStation Network or wherever you buy them for a pretty cheap.
And just so this isn't actually Hitman the first 1 and 2. These are like the Hitman reboot.
It's
1 and
it's
2.
like Hitman 2016 and Hitman 2018.
Yeah.
But these three are considered a trilogy, and they're actually called Hitman 1, 2, and 3. So don't ask me about the naming system, but that's just what they're called.
Okay.
So I bought the first two for maybe $20 each, and you can import them so all three games run on the Hitman 3 engine.
Cool.
Yeah, so all the features, all the gameplay mechanics are from the
Is it
third
a good
one.
looking game? Does it have good?
Oh
graphics?
yeah, it's a really good looking game.
Wow.
What's cool is each level is kind of like a sandbox, and some are as big as like a mansion, like you're at a cocktail party at like this big mansion.
Mm-hmm.
And some are like as big as like a city. But what's really cool is like there's so much into it. So for example, that mansion, it's like there's the basement where there's the cleaning crew and the kitchen staff, and you can like disguise the kitchen staff and start poisoning soup or whatever. And you go up a floor, there's the cleaning staff and the maids and the butlers. You go up a floor, there's the party room and cocktail hour, and then there's like the runway. You go up a floor, there's like the pyrotechnics and the light crew and the backstage kind of stuff, and then you go up a floor, there's the security on the roof. So it's like there's and you can do kind of so much in one level, and you can assassinate the targets in like so many different ways. And so you can play the same level like 20, 30 times if you wanted to, or play it once, and then you can go to the next level. So
do you have just one target, or is it multiple targets, or it changes?
I haven't actually experienced one where there's only one target, except for the tutorial. Usually there are two or more. Okay. And sometimes it'll be two and then an objective. So it'll be like, oh, kill these two, and then also stop the chemical from being released, kind of thing.
Oh, cool. Can you just go in running and gunning and killing everybody? Like
totally. And sometimes you want to do that because you just want to explore and kind of get a feel for where the guards are and whatever. But the guards will usually do outnumber you, so you can't just go in guns blazing because they probably will kill you. But you can, like, there's achievements or kind of challenges for doing it without ever being detected. So it's kind of like, oh, I can shoot these two guards, but at the moment I shoot them, they've detected each other, so that you lose that challenge. So how do I trick them into not seeing me take out the other one?
Yeah, so I know you can wear disguises and all that.
Yeah, and there's just a lot of cool ways, and there's a lot of kind of funny and creative ways that you kill people. Like there's this one where this guy's it's from the Hitman 1, so it's no spoilers. But there's one guy's trying to get heart surgery. So instead of going in and killing him, you go in and kill his heart transplant, and you just like shoot the heart, like the transplanted heart, and it instantly kills it just means like the guy will never live.
Oh, so that's grim.
Yeah, it's just kind of a cool way. Like they have like these really cool and creative ways to assassinate your targets.
Cool. I really want to grab that. Is it full price, number 3?
Number 3 is full price. It might even I think it's $80 or whatever it is.
Yikes. Okay, yeah. Well, I'll get it when it comes to Game Pass. Okay, well, what I've been playing is, I beat Bowser's Fury. I think we talked about that last time, but I am still going through 3D World. Are you trying
to 100% it this time, or just playing?
No, usually what I do on these Mario games is I'll do kind of like a first pass of all the levels where I'll beat them and not stress about the stars. Like I'll get all 3 if I can, but I don't redo the level if I miss one. Mm-hmm. And then I just kind of get to the very end, and then I'll go back to the first world and go through and collect everything in every level. And
don't you have to beat the game with every character too on every level?
I'm not going to do that, or do the flagpole thing. I already did that on the Wii U, where I got to the top of the flagpole on every level.
Okay, don't you have to unlock the secret? Isn't the final level only unlocked when you do all that?
I don't think you need to I think you just need all the stars for Championships Road. I don't think you definitely don't need to beat it with every character, but you might need to hit the top of every flagpole, which is annoying, but hopefully not. But the Championships Road is ridiculously hard anyways, so I won't really lose. If I get that far, like beat all the special worlds, I'll consider the game beat. Let's put it that way. Yeah. But I just love that game. I love the new sense of speed they added, and it's just like it's so easy to just roll through levels, and it's fun to just kind of like long jump over sections and kind of almost cheese the level a bit. So I don't know. I just really love that game. It's so tight, so fun. Even on single player, I'm having a great time. It's kind of
Nice.
nice and mindless. I've also been playing 2 games on the Xbox Series X, which were on Game Pass. I've been replaying Titanfall 2 with the 4K upgrade.
Oh, and a good
And
choice. The single
yep,
player, obviously.
yep.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty far. I'm on the time travel level already.
Oh,
Uh,
that's the best level too.
yeah, it's the best level. And well, to be honest, like I just started playing. I'm like, oh, I'll just kind of tinker with the first level. And before I knew it, I was on the level where you're in the house factory, and then I was sucked into it. That game really is great. The control,
Yeah,
I
I think it's
love.
honestly, I think it's one of the best first-person shooter campaigns ever.
Yeah, I'd put it. I mean, to be honest, Doom Eternal had better controls. Like after playing Doom Eternal, it is hard to go to any first-person shooter for me. Especially Titanfall because it does have like the double jump and the faster motion, which I love. I love the controls and the wall running. It feels so good to play. But Doom Eternal does have that slight edge. I gotta just note that win there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But I think the one thing Titanfall does so well that no other FPS does is the sense of scale is massive. It's just like the house level where you're breaking through multiple of those virtual realities, and it's just there's no load time. I mean, the load times are very well hidden, and you can jump into your mech anytime. It's freaking awesome. I love that game. I'm also playing Jedi Fallen Order Star Wars, which I know I've talked to you about.
Yep.
So I guess our listeners are going to hear some of us or some of that jibber jabber. So you didn't you thought it was okay? You gave it a 7.5.
Yeah, I played it like a month ago, and I thought it was 7.5. Like, I mean, at some parts are an 8, and some parts are a 6. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of like having this love-hate thing with it at this point. I'm gonna play some more of it, but yeah, I mean, I'll start with what I like about it. There's moments where it feels like the best Star Wars game ever. It feels badass. You feel like, wow, it's actually pushing back a little bit, and I think you know what I mean. Like those moments where you just kind of like take on a group of stormtroopers and you like perfectly hit all their lasers back at them, and then you just kill all of them in like those wicked fast strikes.
Yeah, that's why I think you should keep
And
playing, because some of the powers that you get later are just fun to play with.
yeah, okay, I think I will because the best part about it is fighting, and it just feels badass. Like even fighting on like taking on big creatures and stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
there's some cool upgrades in that game.
yeah, and I'm actually excited for the bosses. Like I like the big epic fights.
Yeah.
I think I told you it was funny. Like I find it some parts of it a little bit frustrating because it's just linear enough, but also just open enough to not really be either. And it's not as well guided as something like The Last of Us, where you feel like it's open, but it's still guiding you along perfectly. Like they give you the option to go to multiple planets, but one of the planets, the one that I ended up going to, was the wrong path, and it was just way too hard. And I hit a wall, and I ended up searching the whole place. I mean, I just spent hours in this place, not knowing how to progress, before finally thinking, okay, I'm going to go to the other planet.
There's a big icon telling you which planet to go to.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess I realized that too late.
Yeah. Okay.
But no, it was fun though, because now I mean, I got good at the game, right? Because I had to take on harder creatures, and I was dying
Yeah.
again and again. And I mean, I'm playing on easy, mind you, on the easiest difficulty.
Oh, no
Not-
wonder you don't find the game very fun.
Sorry, not the easiest, not on story mode, where literally it's just for people.
Yeah,
who wanna hear
you're on the
story.
second of 4.
Yeah, but it's still
Yeah.
it's still kicking my ass.
But you should have done number 3. Number 3 is actually like probably the best.
Well, I'm still having a hard time with it.
Yeah, I guess you don't play. You play like Nintendo kid games. So.
No, you know what's funny, but with shooters, I'm fine. Like I beat The Last of Us 2 on hard, no sweat.
On hard, Last of Us 2 is such an easy game. That's like, don't
Well,
say that. That's like an embarrassing thing to say.
There was many difficulties below hard, you know.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Like most people started that game on Survivor, and it was like no problem.
Well, maybe I'll do the next run. I plan to do on the harder difficulty.
Okay, that's good.
Well, it's hard because it's like, do you do the
Play
hardest?
the Evil Within and let me know how you think hard games.
If you
first
do
person
a
are.
game on the hardest difficulty, then like you never get to that point where you just have like so much ammo and you're OP and just destroying everybody. Like that's part of games that I like. It's like God Complex.
Then play the Evil Within.
Yeah,
Oh, you don't? You like God Complex? You don't?
I like being like super powered. Like
Oh
that's,
yes, that's why I like Doom Eternal.
yeah, and that's why I think Jedi Fallen Order, like it could be really fun when I get some more powers. I just got the push power. Where you can
Okay,
like,
yeah. So you're still missing a few powers, and there's some really cool lightsaber upgrades you get.
Yeah, totally. I guess my main problem with it is I just find the level design like boring, and I guess I'm on like the 3rd or 4th planet now, and it's just another jungle. And and I think you know the one I'm talking about. And it's like those guys. It's like
Yeah,
you get guided there, but at the same time, you get there and it's really just like another set of mazes and obstacles. Like it doesn't feel like you're in a new space or a new like. I don't know, the very claustrophobic design where you get to these planets and all of a sudden you're really just in these linear corridors.
Yeah.
You know,
it's not open. It's just kind of like 2 or 3 linear corridors.
Yeah, so I mean, the opening of the game for me was so strong. Like, you open on this awesome planet with all these Star Destroyers, and then you go to this really cool planet and break to this temple, and I was loving it at that point, but then I guess kind of the immersion broke when I started to see the levels as mazes and not as places.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the design just kind of instantly broke for me. And obviously, I mean, I'm not a fan of this. I love Star Wars, but I also find the stories to be the exact same, with the same characters always.
Yeah.
So it's like the story's doing nothing for me. I don't know. Parts of it I love. Like it's Respawn, same developer as Titanfall, and they do make extremely polished games, which is awesome. But I don't know. I don't know about Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to love it. It's a good game. It's not necessarily a phenomenal game.
I think if they took that same like engine and concept and they like gave you a gun and they kind of maybe added some vehicles and explored like bigger environments, like maybe they just took it to the next level for PS5 and Xbox Series X, that could be amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it has potential. I think it's a well-made game. I just think, there's some things that I think could be improved.
Yeah. Well, any games you're looking forward to in the coming months? Like, what's your next game purchase, do you think?
The next game that I have already bought is It Takes Two.
When
March 26th.
Okay, and you got that for PS5?
Well, it's PS4, but it has a free PS5 upgrade.
Okay, do you have multiple controllers for PS5?
I have 2, yeah.
Oh, sick. Well,
yeah.
I have 2 for Xbox, so it's the same deal. I'm probably gonna.
It sounds like a competition. It's not a.
Well, I'm wondering if I should buy that.
As long as you have
coming to Xbox, right?
I believe so. As long as you have someone to play with, you can play online, I guess, and actually you can even give it to someone for free, if I remember correctly.
Is it on Switch as well?
No, not on Switch. Let me check the platforms.
Because it looks really cool. I just kind of wondering who I'm going to play with.
Yeah, just computer, PS, or Sony and Microsoft.
Okay. And, you know, I'm always kind of nervous about things coming up on Game Pass, because I didn't buy that game Falconeer. I almost bought that, and now that's on Game Pass. And I didn't buy Star Wars Squadrons, and now that's coming to Game Pass. So I'm almost, like, nervous about buying games at all.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just don't want to buy one and then find out it's coming to Game Pass.
I know, it's almost like... it depends, like, what the game is. If you want to play it like, to me, that game is going to be a day one game, so...
Yeah. I'll have to see if I have something to play with. If I do, I will. If I don't, I might just not be able to really play it right away and have to buy it on a rainy day when maybe it's on Game Pass or on sale.
So what game are you looking forward to in the next month or so?
I think the next game I'm going to get is going to be Crash Bandicoot on Switch.
Number 4?
Yeah.
Or 1, 2, 3?
4. I have 1, 2, 3 for PS4.
Oh, you do? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to get number 4 as well, but I'm going to wait for the PS5 version to come out and go cheap.
You want to wait for that to drop in price, you mean?
Yeah, the PS5 version.
Yeah.
It comes out next week, I think.
Yeah, but it's a price upgrade from the first one, isn't it?
No, I think it's actually free upgrade if you get the PS4 version. I have to look into that more, but
no, it's like you have to pay. You have to pay.
No, it's not. It's Tony Hawk you have to pay, not Crash.
Oh, okay.
That's why people were upset, because Crash wasn't that, even though it's Activision, and Tony Hawk was, even though it's Activision too.
Oh, I can't wait for Tony Hawk to come out for Switch.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait for that. I'm gonna wait for the PS5 version for that too, for the 120 frames. But I'm gonna wait for it to go cheap as well.
Well, that comes out this month, right?
Crash 4 does. I don't know when the Tony Hawk.
I thought no, the upgrade for Tony Hawk comes out in March for PS5 and Xbox Series X.
I don't know that.
Now you do. But to me, it's just the perfect handheld game. Like just being able to play Tony Hawk on a handheld with that fidelity is awesome. You know, it just, I mean, you don't feel that way with it just being
I just, again, like, I'm not really, my current lifestyle, I don't play handheld. I'm never, there's never a time I'm playing handheld, ever.
Interesting, okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes I like to just even at home have a movie on and play handheld on the couch. You know, if it like usually it's an indie game or something that I'm playing, or it'll be a game like Tony Hawk where I don't need the music and sound effects.
Yeah, I would never do that. I watch shows while playing games, but I have 2 screens in my room, so I don't. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
it's disgusting.
Well, no, I have my computer monitor, right? So I can just play movies on that.
I gotta say, I sometimes feel like I want to get the new Monster Hunter for Switch just because I think it looks great. There's a lot of hype for it. I feel like I might get sucked into the hype.
I won't get it. There's no way.
No?
I've tried Monster Hunter. It's just not for me.
Yeah, I've done it a few times, tried it, and it's not. I don't think it's for me either. Just I really like the style of this new one. I think it's gonna be a huge release. I think it's gonna get big. I think it's gonna review very well too. Like I think it'll have a high Metacritic, and I think it'll be one of the best sellers of the month. I think people are underestimating just how well that game's gonna do. It's been on the hype cycle for Switch for a while now.
Yeah, I think it'll do well.
But yeah, the next big Switch game I'm excited for is probably Pokemon Snap.
Pokemon Snap. Yeah.
And then Miitopia, of course. I'm still waiting for a price drop for 1-2 Switch.
Are you really?
No, but I mean, I would buy it.
I would buy that game if it was $19.
Yeah, that's probably my breaking point on that one. $19.99.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, with that concludes this week of Nintendo Bros podcast.
Yeah, the Double Direct week.
Double Direct week. And so we're releasing basically every 2 weeks, just so you guys know. So stay tuned for more every 2 weeks.
Yeah, sounds good. Have a good one.
All right. See you later.
Bye.